For what purpose, gentleman from Texas, rise? The gentleman moves to strike the requisite number of words and is recognized for 5 minutes.
I ask unanimous consent to revise and extend my remarks.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in support of the Tillman Amendment and in opposition to HC Resolution 42. Today we're going to have a vote on whether or not troops should be authorized to go to Kosovo. If you vote in favor of this, you're voting for war. This is not a war resolution in the conventional sense of the Constitution, but in this day and age, it's about the closest thing you're going to come, since we have ignored the Constitution with war powers essentially since World War II. So if you vote for troops going to Kosovo, you are complicit in a potential war, and the responsibility should be on the shoulders of those who vote to send the troops. I strongly urge that we not send the troops. It's not our fight. We are not the policemen of the world. It weakens our national defense. There are numerous reasons why we do not need to send more troops into another country someplace around the world. Every time we do this, it just leads one to the next. It is said that we should not have much to say about foreign policy because in the Constitution this has been given to the President. The term foreign policy does not even exist in the Constitution. The President has been given the authority to be the commander-in-chief, to lead the troops after we direct him in what he should do. He is the commander. We do not have a military commander, we have a civilian commander, but we do not forego our right to debate and be concerned about what's happening on issues like this. In a report put out by those who sponsor this resolution had this to say: this measure does not address the underlying question of the merits or misgivings of sending U.S. forces into Kosovo. We're not even supposed to debate the merits and the misgivings of sending troops. Why not? Instead, the purpose of this resolution, they go on to say, is to give the House an opportunity to fulfill its constitutional responsibility of authorizing the deployment of U.S. troops into potentially hostile situations. In other words, we're to do nothing more than to rubber stamp what the President asked for. Where does the President claim he gets authority? Does he come to us? Has he asked us for this? No, he assumes he has the authority. He's already threatened. What we do here has no effect. He's going to do what he thinks he should do anyway. He doesn't come and ask for permission. Where does he get this authority? Sometimes the presidents, since World War II, have taken it from the United Nations. That means that Congress has reneged on their responsibility. We don't just give it to the President, we give it to the President plus the United Nations or NATO. And when we joined NATO in the United Nations, it was explicitly said that it was not to be inferred that this take away the sovereignty and the decision-making power of the individual countries and their legislative bodies. And yet we have now for quite a few decades allowed this power to gravitate into the hands of the President. After Vietnam, there was a great deal of concern about this power to wage war. First, we had Korea. We didn't win that war. Next, we had Vietnam. And with very sincere intent, they passed the War Powers Resolution in 1973. The tragedy of the War Powers Resolution, no matter how well motivated, is that it did exactly opposite of what was intended. What has happened now is actually, it has been taken by all our presidents since then, that they have the authority to wage war for 90 days before we say anything. That is wrong. We've turned it upside down, so it is up to us to do something about getting the prerogative of waging war back into the hands of the Congress. It is said that we don't have this authority, that we should give it to the President. He has it under the Constitution on his authority to formulate foreign policy, which isn't there. The Congress has the responsibility to declare war, write letters of marques and reprisals, call up the militia, raise and train army, regulate foreign commerce. The President shares with the Senate treaty power as well as appointment of ambassadors. The President can't even do that. We have the ultimate power, and that is the power of the purse. If the power of the purse is given up, then we lose everything, because we have not assumed our responsibilities up until this point. It is up to us to declare that the president cannot spend money in this manner. I have legislation that would take care of this, that the president cannot do this unless he gets explicit authority to do it. If he does it, the money should be denied to the president unless you want to be complicit in this military adventurism.
Time of the gentleman has expired.